Hi, welcome to our channel Mansa Tutorials. So today we are going to take class 6 part 2, that is our food. Our food topic we have completed part 1. After which topic ingredients. What are ingredients? Up to that topic we have discussed in our part 1 video. So today we are going to take our part 2 video on after what are ingredients. So what are ingredients? Ingredients are the materials which are required to prepare food. So now we are going to see how these ingredients we obtain, how we get these ingredients. To make different recipes or different dishes we need ingredients, but from where we get these ingredients we are going to discuss. So from where we get these ingredients, we have different sources for these ingredients. So what are there are few plant source ingredients, there are few animal source ingredients. So what are plant source ingredients? Which we get from plants. The ingredients which whatever we get from plants are called what? Plant source ingredients. And the ingredients whatever we are getting from animal, they are known as animal source ingredients. And there are some ingredients which we get with the help of both plant and animal, and even there are some ingredients which we get with neither from plant nor from animal. So that is what is given in our table 3 of our textbooks. Who gives us food? So who gives us food? There what is described? So there are list of ingredients. From where we are getting that ingredients, we need to mention them. So firstly, what is the cooking oil? So from where we get this cooking oil? We get cooking oil from plants. How? See, most of the cooking oil what we use in cooking, we use linseed oil, we use peanut oil, we use what can we say, sunflower oil. So this type of oils we use. These all oils, either it may be a linseed oil or a sunflower oil or peanut oil, these all are what? From where we are getting them? We are getting them from plants. So what is the source giving us that oil? Plant is the source giving us that oil. So from which part of that plant? It is either from leaf or stem or root or from fruit or some seeds, we need to know. So when you are taking sunflower oil, from where we get? From the seeds of sunflower we get that oil. So who is giving that oil? Seeds of that plant is giving oil. So cooking oil, we get that, we obtain cooking oil from where? Plants. And which part of the plant is giving that oil? Seeds of the plant is giving that oil. Now second one is honey. So from where do we get honey? Yes, we get honey from flowers, but not directly from flowers. Insects, honeybees go and collect nectar from the flower, and this nectar is stored in the honeycombs by honey, and in the honeycomb it is converted to what? Honey. So honey is obtained from both plant and animal, because from plant means from the flowers of plants, honeybees collect the nectar, and this nectar was transferred to the where they take it to the honeycomb, and there it is converted as honey. Understood? Next, so chips. From where do we get these chips? We get chips from plant. So from like you see potato chips, we get potatoes. Yes, from potatoes we get this potato chips. So who is the source of these chips? Potato. From potato we are getting these chips. Next thing, turmeric powder. Turmeric powder, haldi. From where we get this haldi? We get from plant or animal? From plant. We get haldi from plant. And in this plant, how? Means which part of the plant is providing us this turmeric? Root of the plant is providing turmeric. Now next thing, salt. So from where we get this salt? It's neither from a plant nor from an animal. It is from sea water. Okay, sea water is processed, and from that what we get? We get this salt. So again there is a in our further lessons we even see the process of preparation of salt also in our future lessons. Time being, salt is neither obtained from plant nor from animal. It is obtained from sea water. Understood? Now next one, dough. How we prepare this dough? So we get this dough from flour, isn't it? From atta. So this atta or flour, from where we are getting? It is from plant or animal? It is from plant. Plant is a source which is providing this dough. So what? Which part of the plant is giving that? Seeds of the plant is giving dough. Okay. like wheat is what? Wheat grains are giving this dough, isn't it? So what? Grains of the plant will give dough. Now next thing, meat. From where do we get this meat? We get meat from animal. So flesh of the animal is used as meat. Rice. In the rice, same thing. It is coming from plant. And what are used? Rice grains, isn't it? Paddy grains, no? They are grains, seeds. So those are used as these grains are used as sources, means that is the part of the plant which we are using in process of preparation, means to get rice we need to use that. Next, eggs. From where do we get eggs? From hen. That is an animal or plant? Animal. So eggs source is animal. Next thing, sugar. From where we get sugar? From plant. Which part of the plant is used in the preparation of sugar? Stem. Understood? Stem of the plant is used in the preparation of sugar. Next thing, peanuts. From which part? Means what? It is coming from plant or animal? Plant is the source of peanut and it comes from the roots of the plant. So from there where we get peanuts. Peanuts are nothing but what? Groundnuts, isn't it? So we get groundnuts from roots of the plant. So table 3 is shown, where means this list of ingredients from where we are getting, what are the sources of that ingredient and which part of that particular plant or animal is providing that ingredient was discussed in table 3. Now we are going to see who gives us food. That is that in this table 3 we have discussed about who gives us food. Now we are going to see which part of the plant, means see now what I said in some when we are talking about sugar, I said stem of the plant is helpful in providing sugar. When I said peanuts, I said root of the plant is providing peanuts. So in the same way, there are some particular plants where only certain part of the plant is edible. Not all the part of the plant is edible. So when you are seeing spinach, which part of the plant is edible? Leaf of the plant is edible. In the same way, when you are seeing coriander, so which part of the plant is edible? Seed and leaf. Leaf we use as coriander and in seeds, coriander seeds we use in preparation of dishes. So both seed and leaf of coriander plant are edible. At the same time, when you are seeing cauliflower, which part of the plant is edible? Flower of the plant is edible. Now tomato, which part of the plant is edible? Neither leaf, neither stem, not leaf, not stem, nothing like that. Which part is edible in tomato? Fruit of the plant is edible. And at the same time, when you are seeing drumstick, which part of the plant is edible? Fruit, that is also, drumstick is also fruit of the plant, that is edible. So not all the parts of the plant are edible. Either sometimes leaf of the plant may be edible, sometimes seed of the plant may be edible, sometimes fruit of the plant may be edible. So edible parts are different, means that vary from plant to plant. We can't say that all plant leaves are edible, all plant fruits are edible, all plant roots are edible. Only certain part of the plant is edible in some cases. Sources of food. So this plant, from plant which type of food we are getting? So from plant we get like rice, sugar, wheat, spices, fruits, vegetables, tea, coffee. These all we get from where? From different parts of the plant we get. So these all are provided from which source? Plant. Plant being the source, we get these all ingredients like rice, sugar, wheat, tea, coffee. These all ingredients, vegetables, fruits, all these we get from plants. Plant being a major source, we get all these ingredients. Now at the same time, animal being the major source, from where we get? We see like eggs, mutton, fish, butter, honey, cheese, milk. These all we get with the help of what? Animal, isn't it? So we get milk from animals. We get butter from milk, which indirectly we are getting from animal, isn't it? So there are, means animal being the source, we get different types of ingredients. Plant being the source, we get different types of ingredients. So in the next one what we are going to, next table is given. So what we are eating, now I said in only certain parts of the plant are edible, certain parts of the tree is edible. So now we are here in the table 4, which part of that particular plant is edible, it is asked. So we will see fenugreek. Fenugreek, which part is edible? Fenugreek means when you see in Telugu it is mentulu. So we eat even leaf of that plant, and at the same time we eat seeds of that plant. So in fenugreek plant, which parts are edible? Leaf is edible, and at the same time leaves are also edible. Now when you see mustard, which part of the mustard is edible? Black color seeds, like which, so what they are? They are the seeds of the plant are edible. Now when you see sugar cane, which part is edible? Stem of the sugar cane is edible. Long green leaves we don't eat, still roots we don't eat. So what we are eating? Stem. That middle stem portion only we are eating. So that is known as edible part of sugar cane is what? Stem. Now next thing, carrot. Which part of carrot is edible? Root of the plant. So what are roots? See, it can be turnip or radish, or it can be beetroot. So which part we are eating here? Root of that particular plant we are consuming. And at the same time onion. So onion, what we are eating? It's a modified stem we are eating. These modifications we will study in our higher standards. But time being, what you are eating in onion is, it's a modified stem. That one we are consuming in onion. At the same time cabbage. Which part of cabbage is edible? It is leaf. Leaves of the cabbage are organized, and that is the thing which we are consuming in cabbage. Now at the same time hing. So what is hing? Which we use in some recipes, isn't it? So from where we get this hing? It's a sap of the root. Understood? So it's a gum like structure coming from the root. That part we will use as hing. Understood? So here only certain examples were given, and which part is consumed. Even there are many more things, like if you see tomatoes, which part we are consuming? Fruit, drumstick, fruit, spinach, leaf, and at the same time amaranthus, what we are eating? Leaf of the plant. So we take, means there may be different plants, so only certain part of the plant is edible for us. So now we have seen certain examples and which part is edible in table 4. So next part is condiments and nuts. So before going to this topic, so we prepare our casual recipes using what? Chili powder and some turmeric, salt. With these ingredients we prepare our casual recipes. But when you are going to special recipes like biryani, kheer and those all, what we add to them? We add some ingredients which give flavor to that particular biryani or that particular kheer, isn't it? So materials which you are adding in biryani, that is giving flavor to your biryani, what are they? So they are called condiments. These condiments are called in Telugu as Sugandha Dravyalu, and in English we can call them as fragrant materials. Understood? So what are they? What are these fragrant materials are? Like when you see bay leaf, lavanga, at the same time star anise, at the same time cinnamon, and we can also see like nutmeg, black pepper. These all are what? Condiments. These are useful for what? They give flavors. These give special flavor to your recipe. So we add these in preparation of special recipes only. Understood? So these condiments we use in preparation of special recipes. So these condiments examples what we have seen: ilachi, you can see even lavanga, you can see cinnamon, you can see nutmeg, and what can you see? Bay leaf. These all are what? Condiments. Understood? These are known as Sugandha Dravyalu or fragrant materials. These are used in the preparation of some special dishes like biryani and so on. So what they give to your recipe? Good smell, good fragrance. This fragrance make your dish more delicious and attractive. And at the same time in the preparation of kheer, we use what type of materials? In addition to milk, sugar and a particular ingredient, we add ilachi, we add some nuts, dry fruits, isn't it? These dry fruits are also some special food which give nice flavor, which gives us good taste to our food. So when we say, so what are those dry fruits? Like kaju, kismis, badam, walnuts. So these all are what? Dry fruits. These give special taste to your kheer, isn't it? So when you see these condiments and nuts, these are used, means these grow in particular areas only. They doesn't grow everywhere. These nuts and condiments, they doesn't grow in every place. But so they grow rarely in only certain places. These materials grows. That is the reason these condiments and nuts are very expensive when you compare to ordinary materials like chili powder, turmeric, and some dry chili, red, green chili. In addition to these all, when you consider prices of these spices like condiments, these fragrant materials, and nuts, dry fruits, and these nuts, they are more expensive when you compare them with the ordinary materials or ordinary ingredients whatever we are using. So as they are not in huge quantities available, they are so expensive materials. So what are condiments and dry fruits? Condiments are nothing but Sugandha Dravyalo or fragrant materials which are useful in preparation of recipes like biryani. They provide special flavor to our food, okay? And at the same time, dry fruits are used in the preparation of kheer like recipes, and they also give special flavor to our food. And these were available only, they grow in only particular areas of the, that means only in particular agricultural areas they grow. As they are grown in limited areas, they are very expensive. So next, so we up to now in these all sessions what we have seen the different parts of the plant we consume. We use various parts of the plant as sources of food, isn't it? In some plants we are using, in some plants we use leaf, in some plants we use fruit, in some plants we use roots. So different parts of the plant we are using as sources of food. That can be a leaf or a root or seed or fruit, etc. So we get ingredients from animal and even from plants. So we use them, means I don't say that all the ingredients getting from plant are we need to use, all the ingredients from animal we need to use. We use them based on the proportion they are useful to us. How much proportion that is useful for us, how much proportion that is needed for us. In that proportions we use these all ingredients in our recipes. How people develop their food habits. So how people develop their food habits? People living in particular region or in the same region will have same type of food habits. So the people, means the place they live, the agricultural productions, the climatic conditions, these all will impact the habits, food habits of people living in certain area. When you compare people living in Andhra Pradesh, they are highly, means they show their, means they have common food habit, that is they eat rice more, because as they climatic conditions favor in production of paddy. As they produce paddy in huge quantities, they ultimately prefer rice. Understood? So when you compare with Rajasthan, there people prefer rotis because their climatic conditions were favorable for production of wheat and bajra. As they produce them in huge quantities, they finally opt for, means they prefer eating rotis. So the region where we are living, means people living in certain area or certain region will have same food habits, because the place they are living or that agricultural productions or their climatic conditions, these all will impact their food habits. So how people will develop their food habits we have discussed. Now next topic is different methods of preparation of food. So we use different methods in preparation of food. Like if you are preparing rice, how you prepare rice? We boil that rice. And at the same time, if you are preparing idli, how we prepare idli? We ferment the batter and then we use that, we steam that batter and we prepare idli. So when you see table 5, here different methods of preparation of food is provided. So a first one, what they are giving? Boiling. So by boiling food means which, here whatever examples I have discussed, that is not only the single material which we can prepare in this method. There may be some other types of foods where we can prepare, but I have given only one example here. So by boiling, which type of food we can prepare? Rice. By steaming, idli. By fermenting, we can prepare dosa batter, we can prepare curd, etc. Roasting, we can prepare chicken. Deep fry, like jalebi, pakora, these all we prepare by process deep fry. Shallow fry, tikka, these all, yes, paneer tikka, cutlet, these all how we do? Shallow fry. We don't deep fry them, we just shallow fry them. Chopping and mixing, cutting and mixing, what we use? Means which type of recipes we prepare in this method? like fruit salads, vegetable salads. These are how we prepare, by chopping and mixing. In this process we prepare fruit salads and some vegetable charts, fruit charts, these all we prepare. So these all are what food. These are different methods of preparation of food. So I have given only examples. See, boiling is not, means rice, only rice we cannot prepare by boiling. Even we can cook egg by boiling, isn't it? So there may be different examples, but I have mentioned only few list of examples here. So table 5 is describing different methods of preparation. So what food you prepare by using this method, we have discussed in this table 5. So now we are going to discuss about tasty food. So that is preparation of food. So you have preparation methods you have seen. So here there is one recipe given how to prepare tomato curry. So you may have some other favorite dish, I may have some other favorite dish. So that particular dish, to prepare that particular dish, what are the materials required and what is the procedure, we need to list out. So now at present here recipe of tomato curry is mentioned. So you just see this, observe this and make a list of or make a recipe what you like. Means not the same. If you like some other curry, so how to prepare, so what are the ingredients required and what is the procedure of making your favorite curry. That is the activity given below this. So now we are going to discuss how this tomato curry is prepared. So what are the ingredients required? So to prepare this tomato curry we need 2 tomatoes, 2 onions, 2 red chili, 2 green chilies, 1 red chili, some zeera, mustard, black gram, turmeric, salt, oil, etc. were required. So to prepare, first we need to put oil in a pan and we need to add some mustard seeds, zeera, black gram, turmeric we need to add. So after this we need to add onions and green chili, red chili in that. After frying them we need to add this chopped tomatoes in that recipe and we need to add some chili powder. After certain time we need to fry them and put some water and place a lid on that. After certain time, when it is completely cooked, we need to serve that like that. So this is the process given here for the preparation of tomato curry. So down there is an activity given to prepare, means to mention what is your favorite recipe and how to do that. So if there is some favorite recipe for you, you just try to know how to prepare that favorite recipe. You need to list the ingredients and you need to write the method of preparation of that tasty favorite food. So now we are going to see, up to now we have seen from where we are getting these ingredients, how we are using that ingredients, what are the different methods we use to cook our food, what are the different ways. So now we are going to see how to store this food. Preservation is nothing but we use this method to store our food. When you see common curries what you prepare, if I prepare dal in morning session, by today night probably it will get spoiled if I don't place it in refrigerator, because it gets spoiled easily. But I prepare pickles some months ago, last month or before month, but still that pickle will not spoil for longer time. Why? Because we take some precautions in that process of preparation of pickles. Those precautions will help in preserving that pickle. So today we are going to see in the table 6 how we preserve foods. First thing, by adding salt, chili powder and oil. By adding all these, what type of food material we prepare? We prepare pickles by adding all this. So when you are putting more oil and when you add more salt and chili powder, give spices to that particular thing, it will not spoil easily. When you are adding this salt in large quantities, salt will, what it will do, it will remove the excess water, means water helps in spoiling. If you see raw mango, it will, when you leave like that, it will spoil easily. But when you dry that or when you remove water from that, what happen? It will not spoil easily. So this excess salt, what it will do, it will prevent in getting spoiled, means if some foreign particle or some fungi or something will not attack easily that food item. So that is the reason by adding salt and chili powder and oil. So this preservative, in this process we preserve pickles. Adding only salt, by adding only salt, sometimes we store what? Meat and sometimes vegetables. See, when you want to transport meat to some other place, what you'll do, we'll write salt nicely to that in huge quantities and we pack that material and we transport it. So by adding salt also we can preserve food. Next, by drying. So drying, in this method we mostly preserve fishes. All some fishes we dry them and we use them in recipes. So by drying we can store them for long period of time. When we dry them properly in hot sun, we can store that particular fish for a long period of time. At the same time, sugar syrup. So these are used in preparation of jellies and jams. So jellies and jams will last for long periods. How? Because we are adding sugar syrup. Because of this, sugar syrup is acting as preservative in jellies and jams. So these are different methods of preservations we use. So these preservations helps to prevent spoilage of that particular food whatever we are preparing. So our next topic is fruit and vegetable carving. So why we use this fruit and vegetable carving? Where we see this? This is something we make, means carving is nothing but crafting or designing particular fruit or vegetable. For what? To give some good look, to give some attractive look. On sometimes some occasions we carve some fruits and vegetables to give some special, means to make our particular dinner or lunch more attractive. We use this fruit and vegetable carving. So how we do this? With the help of fruit, means they give some shape and design to the fruits and vegetables. That is called what? Fruit and vegetable carving. Okay. So with this we have completed our class 6 first chapter, our food. So if you have any doubts, I request you to mention them in the comment section so that I can respond to your doubts. Hope this video is useful for you. Thank you. Please subscribe and share my channel.